Hey everybody, welcome back to another video for the Now Pursuit.
We got to just experience a beautiful divine time with our friends, off-grid, boondocking, riding horses, and with this RV life, you do get the opportunity more than normal to experience those things.
But you also get to experience some of the things that you don't want to, that other people don't tell you about.
So this video consists of 5 things we think you should know about RV living that is a little bit more behind the scenes stuff of what goes on.
Life isn't perfect. Something happens, something always happens, and you just have to roll with it. You can't let it ruin your day, you can't let it put you down. Having an RV is the same thing. If you don't know how to use the screwdriver, if you don't know how to use the pair of pliers, then it's gonna be really hard for you and very expensive. So we know a couple things about what had happened with our last RV. Our inverter went out, the water damage that we had, the leaking that we had. It always shows that something always breaks down. There's always a screw that's coming loose that needs to be tightened up. There's a couple walk-arounds that you have to do at least once a week or when you get off the road. This part had came off, like the little screw head came off, and so I had just replaced it. I put a little backing on it so it wouldn't happen again, and then I put a seal on it so it could have a tighter fit. And then right here I'm gonna have to put another seal on it just so it won't get no air in there and it won't end up, you know, taking something off. Another one that I had was right here. If you can see, I have a rope that's right there, some paracord to keep this from splitting apart. You know, it's like little things like that.
Even the awning's been, it'll go lower on this side than it is on the other side.
So another thing that happened was this happened in our last RV, and things happen, you know, and you know, it is what it is. And then our slide. Things happen with the slide, and the slide is something that we deal with every time that we do move. So, and
it's still not working after they thought they fixed it.
Yeah, you all know about what happened, so what we're trying to do is just let everyone know that things happen, but you roll with it.
Another thing that I would totally consider, and this could just be us because we're still in our first year of living in an RV full-time, but sometimes you do need a vacation from your vacation, which means, like, as parents, being very intentional about having date nights or time where you're not with your kids, because you are with your family or whoever you're traveling with 100% of the time. When you drive across the country, when you're inside your tiny home, you're just constantly with the people you love. I absolutely love and adore my kids and my husband, but sometimes I just need to take a step away to recollect, to breathe, because it's just good to do that. Going back to your why, for us, I love that my kids got to travel with us and we got to explore the US and the different adventures we have, because it's such a great learning opportunity for all of us as a family. So that's my why a lot of times with my kids. So, but just knowing that sometimes you get tired of the people that you're traveling with, but you know, you love them. I love my family so much that in the end, it is worth it.
It is very worth it.
Another point we think you should know is that living in an RV full-time can get pretty expensive.
It can be very affordable, like you can budget, but if you're not careful, it can get pretty crazy.
When we first started looking into living in an RV, I heard I had research, there's 3 kind of brackets: the $2,000 mark, the $3,000 mark, the $4,000 mark, and that's a month. And it's very easy to exceed $4,000 if you don't budget well, because you have to consider like the traveling expenses of driving,
the gas expenses.
When we have travel days where we're trying to get to this one state and we're gonna drive every day, How much do we pay a day for gas?
Oh, it's in the it could get up there, but also it could be because of the repairs too. And say you have a check engine light, you probably gonna have to stay somewhere where there's only one place that's open up, and it's pretty pricey. It's like it's out of your price range, but you have to stay there because you have these issues that you have to take care of.
Yeah, you can't just go to the friend that you know who's a mechanic. Like, you actually have to only go off of whatever area you're in, so you never know what to expect.
Right.
And then too, it all depends on whether or not you want to be at RV parks. Are you going to dry camp mostly? Are you going to be at RV campgrounds instead? There's just a lot of different factors that play.
Yeah.
But, you know, and we're really grateful because living this life, we have shifted our perspective from scarcity mindset to a mindset of abundance, that the Lord is going to provide, and we always have hope on that end. And He has. Like, He has supplied in so many different various ways so that we can financially stay afloat. But sometimes you can stress about it because money goes fast. So you have to be very intentional about that, and just know that, you know, it really all depends on how you decide to manage your money, but it can get really expensive if you decide not to be really intentional about it.
Yeah, seriously.
Because I've gotten a lot of people who say, like, they want to save money, and so they want to move into an RV. You will not save money if you don't plan that out. You'll just be spending all the time. So, being very intentional about where your money goes, stewarding that well.
Yeah, you do want to have one person to take over the finances so they can have an idea of what the budget is, and let that person be the one who is not more high maintenance, but more budget friendly, because I'm really not budget friendly. Like, if I have it, I'm gonna spend it.
It's like being mindful of where the money goes. I'm very cautious. Like, if we're gonna buy something, I'm not afraid to say, is this wise to do that right now? You know, and like, we talk about it versus just boom, 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 we're spending all the time. It's good to be mindful or have that, you know. And then the other person gets to have fun searching. Like, Angela has so much fun searching on Amazon for different things we do want, and then we get to talk about that too. So there's like a playful energy in it, because it doesn't have to be super stressful.
Right, want and need. Not want, even though we can't fit it in here. You know, that we don't have the space for it. I'm not gonna get something, you know, you gotta be smart with what you get.
Right, like recently we just bought a ladder because there's no ladder. So it is something we needed, and it was a little bit higher than we would like, but, you know, we had fun looking for it, and we did find what worked with our budget. So that's something we definitely think you should know about RV living, is it can get expensive. It's all up to you. Another thing we think that is important to know about RV living is that, and I like to call it the bubble life. Sometimes you start creating a bubble, especially if you travel often and you're not staying stationed somewhere that you know very well, or you have loved ones. The bubble life is that you create this bubble and then you don't connect maybe with loved ones, or you kind of, it's like you isolate yourself in a way, and it's not at all intentional. It's actually, it happens naturally. That's our experience. And so just being aware of that can help keep that intentionality about staying connected. Your loved ones want to see you. They want to talk with you. They want to see what adventures you're having. And so there are thousands of ways to stay connected, and it doesn't always mean giving them a call. It could be like, we have this YouTube channel here that a lot of our family and friends follow us, and so then that way they could stay connected in that sense as well. So there are different ways. One beautiful thing about traveling and living on the road is that you do get to meet a whole bunch of new community as well. You know, so it is a beautiful thing still. And this, I believe, applies to people who love to connect with other people. Sometimes, like I'm an extrovert. I love connecting with other people, but many times I will just be in my bubble, and I'll either forget, or I'll become lazy, or I just have a story of like an excuse of why I can do it later. And then I feel the difference in my personality, and it just affects me in a certain way. And being aware of who you are as a person and what you need and what you don't need, all of that, I believe that it's a really important part of it is to just be intentional about staying connected and not feel guilty if you do need to just be in your bubble for a little bit and then step out of it every once in a while to reconnect with loved ones. So just being aware of that is something that's good to know. So the fifth thing is the fact that you do, and you might possibly, if you don't already have a workout regimen, gain weight.
Gain some weight. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay, and it happens. But just so you know that, if that's something you should know about RV living, you gotta make sure you have a good active, I guess,
Lifestyle.
If you wanna stay fit while you're on the road. So with that, hopefully this information helps and doesn't scare you from doing RV life if that's what is on your heart, but just things to consider that are real life stuff.
Yep.
All right, so
All right.
see you at our next video.
Bye, guys.
Bye.